Here we go, and I think I'm live. Anyway, I just wanted to show you today, it's a bit of a practice video because I haven't used my new camera or any of this setup before, and I'm a little bit older, shall we say, so I struggle with this tech, but I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to do, if this works out, you know, and I'll get to grips with it, be able to do lots more videos and show you lots of lovely things next year. So bear with me because this is a little bit of a practice. I can't do any editing on here or annotations or anything else like that, or speeding up bits that are boring, so it's as it comes, I'm afraid. But hopefully you won't get too bored. I suppose I'd better say who I am. My name's Anne Waller. I'm a textile artist and jewellery maker, but I love to do all sorts of crafts, so anything really, mixed media, stamping, embroidery, patchwork, all sorts of things. Now this is one of the newest things that I've been trying, and it's a Japanese craft, Hishikazari these are called, and it's little hanging decorations basically. And the reason I wanted to bring this is because I shared some of my projects on my Facebook and in various groups, and some of my friends said, oh well, you'd like to see how you do those. Now I'm on the design team for a lady called Gina-B. She runs a little home company, home family business with her husband called Gina-B-Silkworks. And her expertise is passementerie, which is textile trimmings. But she does everything from wrap buttons, tassels, braids, lace work, and she does some of these Japanese crafts as well. And this one's a Hishikazari, but she does the thread wrap thimbles as well, the yubinuki, kanzashi flowers, where she uses the more traditional Japanese technique with starch instead of man-made fibres. You've seen people make the kanzashi and then heat seal the edges, but she does it with cottons and uses the starch method, so more akin to the traditional Japanese. I just love working with Gina because, you know, she does a lot of historical techniques and works for museums, historical film, that sort of thing, and it's all the sort of techniques that actually are now on the endangered list. You know, so a lot of these things, if we don't share them, do them, pass on these skills, sadly they're just going to go. So I'm so privileged to be working with her. You may have seen her on Create and Craft TV. She's been on there fairly regularly, bringing various kits. And It's been lucky enough to help make samples for the shows. So this is her newest little kit that she just bought out. And it's a little acrylic template basically. And what it enables you to do is really quickly and easily cut out 5 different sizes and score to make these shapes, so that you end up with a little card shape like this. That's perfect. Now if I was just to have to measure that out and draw it and then score all these lines and get them just right, I think I'd lose the will actually. I don't think I'd be bothered. Be one step too far. I want to get onto the good bit. I think we're all a bit like that, aren't we? So basically they're cut out of cards, you lay the card over, and I think any paper crafters out there know that it's just a standard embossing tool with a little ball tip. Hope you can see this. And you press there into the grooves on the template, and hey presto, you fold it all up and it's just your perfect shape. There's no sticky out bits, there's no wibbly edges. I mean, it just wouldn't look right if it was at all out. It just wouldn't work. By the time you thread wrap it and everything, it would just look distorted, and you know, you'd see it. And they're perfect. So I can really highly recommend the tool. I'm not going to show you too much more detail on the tool itself, because obviously, you know, Gina, she's worked hard on developing the tool. They also manufacture it, her and her husband. So she does need to earn a living. So if you're interested in making these and you want an easy method to make these shapes, I can highly recommend the tool. I will put a link down the bottom for you, and I'll also put a link to my blog so you can find out a bit more about me and all the stuff I do, because I've been blogging for ages, just not videoing. Been a bit too scared to do so, you know, this is my first proper attempt at it. But what I will do today is I shared some of my projects on Facebook in various groups, and some of my friends said, well, how the heck do you do it? So I am going to show a demo, because I don't know, if you're anything like me, I mean, the little kit comes with some instructions, it shows you how to do it, it gives you ideas of how you can thread wrap it, fabric cover it. I mean, you could just paint these and stick them on a mixed media project. I mean, you don't have to use thread with it. They're just so fun. But anyway, if anything like me, I like to see somebody do it. As soon as I've seen somebody do it, I think, yeah, got it, you know. So I am going to wrap this one for you, but as I say, they make beautiful little things. You could make jewellery, bag hangers, key ring things, scissor keepers, or just decorative. So that's my latest little project there. I'll just lay that to the side and I'll go through how you wrap these. Now in Gina's little leaflet it does tell you how to, you know, what threads to use, how to change colour. Basically it's just embroidery pearl, embroidery thread, crochet cottons, whatever you like really. I mean, be your project, do whatever you like. Now the little shape, when you look at it, hopefully I've got it centred for you, there's one corner that's at right angles, so this corner here is right angles. The other little tips on the perimeter here, if you hold it like this, are acute angles, so they're sharper points. So Gina does tell you to label A, B, C and takes you through step by step, but I find it easier. I just take my shape, I have my right angle, know where that right angle is, up to the top, and then the three sharper points laid like that. And I prefer to hold the thread in my left hand and twizzle with my right hand, but you can do it whichever way you like. So hold the thread on with your thumb there, and you go over that right angle point. So there you go, you've gone down one side over the right angle point. Then you've come to one of those sharper points. So all you do is go round that and come back. So I'm hoping you can see. Then you're back to that right angle point on the top again. You go over that and you end up at another one of the sharp points. So you go round the sharp point, back on yourself, and you're back up to the right angle point. Over that one, and you're back to one of the sharper points, round that and back. Now you can see there, that's one whole wrap done. Once you've got that bit, and certainly to see it done, I mean, a lot easier that I find than reading it, even with a few pictures, because it sort of your head does somersaults, or mine did when I first tried it. I thought, oh my goodness, I can't get this, which way up am I meant to have it? So right angle point to the top, holding it so you've got the three sharp points on the perimeter, and you do your first wrap. Once the first wrap's done, really easy. You just keep going round, laying the thread next to the previous one, round and round. Don't worry about this bit, you can trim a little bit off once we've done a bit of wrapping, and you just go round and round. Now I'm using a variegated cotton, so you'll see as it develops I'm going to get a really lovely stripe pattern without any effort, so I'm not having to keep stopping and change colours. You can do. I love my variegated threads. I think I tend to use them in everything. Lace making, knitting. I just love my variegateds. So here you go, you keep going round and round and round. So this is where I hope you're not going to get too bored, because I really don't know how to speed up this process. My laptop's just gone onto screensaver, so I'm hoping it's still recording. Yes, I think so. And I'm hoping I don't run out of a battery. Right, I'm going to trim that little end off now, because I've got a few wraps round, enough to hold it. So just snip it off. Oh dear. Right, I'll try and get a bit quicker, because otherwise you'll all have given up the will to live. Okay, so keep going round and round. Once I've got a little way round, I'll stop and show it to you, just in case you can't see too well here. As I say, it is a bit hit and miss, this video. I'm hoping that I'm showing you enough to show you. And you can get quite quick at it, you know. As I say, I like to use my left hand. I'm just holding a bit of tension on it as I go round. You don't have to tug it, but just enough so it's not sort of slipping about and flopping off. And you can tweak it with your fingers if it's not quite lining up. And just keep going. When I get halfway, I'll show you. Now you can see I've got like purple bits on the ends here. That's all that is I've coloured the tips with alcohol marker, because that's the only bit, once it's all wrapped up, if you see one of these, the only bit showing, all the sides get covered, so you don't see the sides, all those edges are covered up. The only bit you see is a tiny bit of the tip. So hopefully you can see that and it's focused. Bit of an experiment. Oh my goodness, am I nervous? Yes. Never mind. We'll get there. It's all learning, isn't it? We've all got to learn, we've all got to start somewhere. So my video isn't going to be like super duper, probably a 5-year-old could do better. But I'm doing my best and I can only improve. So here we go, going round and round. I'll tell you a little bit more about me while I'm just carrying on wrapping. As you can see, it's building up gradually, coming down this side, and you just keep going round and round. I started off as a scientist, and various reasons I left that career, partly to help look after my ex-partner's mum. All a very long story, but anyway, I ended up leaving that career. And then while I was looking after her, I thought, well, why don't I, you know, have a go at my crafts. I started doing some craft fairs, making cards, bags, a little bit of jewellery, that sort of thing, just locally. And then I got really caught by the bug, I suppose. I couldn't get back into my science career after taking a couple years out, and I retrained as a pharmacy dispenser, but really it just didn't suit me. It didn't suit me dealing with public and people that, you know, I did it well, but people that are stressed, they're coming to you, they're either because they're, you know, they're getting their own medication, or often they're looking after family that are poorly, or, you know, older family members. And sometimes they come in a right state, or sometimes they come in just damned angry, well, because they're stressed. And I found it was a bit much, really. I think I take things on too much, I get too involved. It took the energy out of me, physically and mentally, I think. I mean, you're on your feet 8 hours a day as well. You know, it's not a sit-down job. And I'm not that young anymore, you know. And I thought, really? And you don't earn that much from doing it either. I thought, from all that hassle, it's really, I ended up really stressed out and really not very happy bunny. So I thought, well, I might as well try and pursue my crafts, which I'm trying to do. I'm not earning very much money doing it. I've taken early NHS retirement, so I've got a teeny bit of pension. And there's a couple older ladies, mothers of friends of mine, that I help out each week with a bit of shopping and odd jobs and hospital trips. And that's lovely because, you know, we're more like friends, really. So I earn a little bit of money from that. Just enough to cover my bills, you know, basic bills. And I'm trying to get my textile business set up. But in the recent couple years, I've done an awful lot to try and build my online presence, really, because you really have to get to grips with that these days. And being a complete social media novice, I had to start somewhere. And I ended up joining several design teams. I started off with tattered lace, dyes, and Brother Scan and Cut, the electronic cutter. I got on the design team for those and helped make samples for Creating Craft TV. So I did that for a little bit. Then I got involved with Chocolate Brock, who produce, fantastic stamps. What can I say? Absolutely, and such a lovely company, a small company. And I think I'm much happier working with smaller companies rather than big, you know, conglomerate. It's much more personal and you get to know those that you're working with much better. So Chocolate Brock, I think about 3 years I've been doing stuff with them. I'm taking a little break at the minute because I need to concentrate on other stuff that I need to get done for my business. But I still do odd bits with them. I'll probably rejoin the team once I'm up and running, but we'll see. I also do quite a bit with Beads Direct on Creating Craft. Probably about a year ago now, several of my soutache designs featured on one of their DVDs, their teaching DVDs, so that was real fun. Really enjoyed that. I'll have to show you those at another video, another time. Yeah, that's an idea. I've got so many things I'd love to show you all. So, what else? Powertex, that's about a year ago. Now, I'm going to show you a bit of Powertex in this actually, so I will get back onto that, but basically it's a fabric hardener, but at the same time it's a glue, a sealer and a paint. So for mixed media, it's designed for making items that you can then put outside in the garden, so garden sculpture, weatherproof. But it's just great for general mixed media, it's an all-round medium. So I will talk about that in a minute because I'm going to show you a little demo with it that's relevant to these Hishikazari. Right, now you can see I've gone all the way round, I'm just holding it there. Hopefully you can see it. So there's the bottom, so all the sides are covered. I'll say it's just a little bit of the tip pokes through. And the lovely stripy side. Oh, I so love these. Oh, sorry, getting excited. Right, so now all we need to do is put a needle on that, so I've just sort of plonk it down. Hopefully it's not going to unravel. Can I thread a needle? Yes, I can. Good-o. And just past that last thread back down into there. There we go, trim it off. And that's done. And you can use like a pokey tool or something to make a hole, depending on where you want to thread it. You might want to thread it through this way, that way. You know, you can have it hanging whichever way you like. On these I've pierced a hole top and bottom, gone back through, and then thread for the tassels. Now, I told you I was, so as I say, the tool that Gina's bought out to make these, and it's got basic instructions, everything in it. It's got some pictures with ideas of different ways. She also shows you instead of just straight wrapping, if I can get the word out, you can do a bit of weaving at the same time, so you get another effect. Aren't they just so gorgeous though? I love them. I love them, I love them. Now, if you're going to use it in jewellery, or for a bag dangle, or keyring, now obviously this is fabric and card. You can't wash it. But not only that, if it's having a lot of knocking about and pulling and shoving, these could ping off the tips. You know, your tips could get a bit squished, these could ping off. And they're going to look tatty, aren't they? What a shame after all that work. My screen's gone again, I hope I'm still recording. This is where this Powertex medium that I told you about comes in. I'm just giving it a shake off screen. I don't think I want to shake it in front of the camera, as you go dizzy. Right, as I say, it's a universal medium. I'll try to hold it where you can see it, I hope. That way. And this one's the transparent one. Now it comes in all sorts of colours, so, oh, you can see a little picture of here where there's somebody's used it for sculpture, where you incorporate fabric and it stiffens the fabric. But it's brilliant. It sticks to any porous natural fibres, so MDF, wood, card, paper, natural fabrics. It doesn't stick to plastic. So anyway, what I do when I make these is I make up a stack of them. This is the Diddy one. I actually paint a coat of Powertex on it, and then leave it to dry. Sit it on a plastic sheet so it's not going to stick to your table. And that just makes it that little bit more robust and gives it a bit of waterproofing as well. But I also use it to treat my final thing. So what I do is I just put a little bit, this is just a takeaway container, I always save them. Fabulous for mixing up paints, bits of glue, whatever else. Now you need a brush with a acrylic head, synthetic, because a bristle one would just go really hard, because obviously it's a textile hardener. And what I do, once I've finished these, is I brush all over, and I work quite quickly, but I want to work it into that fibre, so it's quite a springy brush I've got, but not scratchy. Spread it in, push it into the fibres. Now you can see while I'm doing it, you think, oh Anne, what have you done? That looks a horrible mess. But don't worry, don't worry. But I am working quite quickly, because if I left it like that with a big thick gloopy coat on it, that would dry with a bit of a shine, and in between the threads you'd see it there, sort of, it's filled the gaps between the threads, so it would look a little bit, and you still see your fibres, but it does look a bit like, oh, she's painted a load of glue over it. Right, so I'm trying to work quick here. Sorry, I've gone right off screen, haven't I? Sorry, apologies. It's having my glasses. I have to hold it close to me, and then I'm trying to hold it to camera. Yeah, I need some practice. Oh dear. Right, here we go. We're at last bit. Work it all in so that every bit's covered over those points. And what this will do, that will hold it all on there. Nothing's going to be sliding off. So in and out your bag or whatever, or key ring. So that's that done. Wash your brush out immediately after. I then get a bit of cotton. This is an old tea towel. A bit of cotton, and blot it. It can be quite, you know. That's why I wanted to work quickly before it dried. And just all I'm doing is pressing it down. Obviously don't hold it there too long, you'll glue your tea towel to it. And I'm just taking off all that excess. but it's all been pushed into the fibres there. And I hope I'm not making you dizzy with all this. My apologies, I won't know until I play back the movie, because it judders on my screen anyway, so it's hard for me to see. Right, so now that is completely covered and sealed, and that will also harden all those fibres, so that makes it more robust as well. So you can easily then get a damp cloth and clean these. Now, at the moment, that looks slightly milky, because it is sort of white, but it dries totally clear and matte. So just stick it on I've got a little bit of a cello bag there, and just leave it there about half an hour, that'll dry. And you can see, I mean, feeling them, you can tell it's got, you know, but you could hardly you can still see all those threads, and it doesn't look like you've shoved a load of glue on it. Whereas if you use PVA, it's sort of, it doesn't quite work quite as well. You can use PVA, but I prefer this, because it depends which PVA you use. Some are better than others. Some of them leave it like a little bit tacky on the surface, so they end up looking really sort of grubby and yucky. Just depends which brand. You need to try it out, but I just love this transparent Powertex. Right, so that's it really. I have shown you, I hope, a bit of a demo how to make these Hishikazari. Oh, I've heard my USA friends call them dragon boats, so you might know them as dragon boats. That was a new word for me that I learnt this week. But I will be back with more videos, I hope, and I hope I didn't send you to sleep. So I shall turn this off now and get it uploaded. Alright, bye!